Bin day and I got the wrong bin. I've missed my collection. That's the last thing we need, isn't it, darling?
I love him. How does Daddy say Milo?
Milo.
And how do we say it?
Milo.
Do you know an accent, Marnie?
I'm okay, pal.
Are you okay, pal? How you doing, lad? You alright?
Give me 5.
Yeah, Liz is trying to get her to speak properly and she doesn't want my broad northern accent coming out in you, do it? Tick, tick, tick. Have you printed it out, yeah? Oh, you put a little picture with it as well.
Trying to organise it.
He got his secretary to organise a picture of British GT and then a full checklist.
Aww.
How cute is that?
Organised. Organised it's called. Something Kelvin isn't.
You try and be organised for 2 kids.
Kelvin,
We don't
I was organised when you 3 were all, well, especially you and Dean were all young.
House is just littered with trophies, isn't it? Are you going to wear this cap today when you go see your friend, Toby?
Yes, but I can't carry this one.
Oh, wow. Are you kissing? That's what they do, isn't it? Liz?
Yeah.
Are you getting ready? I'm going to get going now.
With Grandad.
Grandad and... What's he called? Whisper. Rich. Rich, did you forget? Did you forget? How can you forget Rich? He's your friend, isn't he? I'm gonna miss you. Oh, smiling. Yay! You gonna play with me today? Eh?
Marnie, can Grandad have a cuddle before I go?
Yeah, go on, yeah. Give him a big squeeze. So, road trip time, we're off to Spa in Belgium. Should be about an 8-hour drive. And for me, this is the best race of the year. Can't wait. Just giving Chloe a quick face. Rich has just recommended the sausage, bean and cheese. Got to treat myself. Not the one, the other one. Probably still be in bed. That's twice. You've been me twice. So we've arrived too late for our book finger.
Well, we had the 17-hole finger, weren't it?
So it's our first stroke of luck this weekend. We got here late for our crossing and we would have had to wait 2 hours, but thankfully the lovely girl in the office has said that they can rush through and sneak on, so thankfully we've not lost too much time. Hopefully the rest of the weekend will pan out this way. Luck's on our side. Thank you.
Are you?
Your dad's coming today?
Yeah, my dad's here, yeah, he was.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the question, what's the bar like in the hotel?
What's the bar like at the hotel? There's a microbrewery down the road, and it's got Warren's name on it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, we'll give it a go then. Well, we're here. We've arrived at the hotel at Spa. That was a tough drive. My dad did the English part. I did the French and Belgium segment. It's about midnight, so straight to bed and up first thing for the start of the race weekend.
Coming out to Spa, for me, it's definitely a highlight of my season. Not only is it the halfway point of the season, it's the only race in the year where we need our passports. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
Aesthetically, the backdrop is like no other. You know, it's on the edge of an absolute huge forest that I think kind of passes 2 or 3 countries, and it's just there's parts of the track where the backdrop is like a postcard. This is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest circuit on our calendar. It's nearly 3 miles long, whereas I think that's probably an eighth of what it used to be. You know, when it was first built, it probably went on for 30 or 40 miles out through the streets and the woodland, and kind of when you're driving in, you can see parts of that old circuit that are obviously not used anymore. So it's kind of steeped in history. It's an amazing place, and we're kind of just scratching the surface being here racing it this weekend, because years gone by, decades gone by, you know, the racing would have probably looked very different here, and you know, which is fascinating, really.
This is the one track for me where you get a real sense of speed and danger.
Yeah.
You know, other tracks like Silverstone, it's just very fast, but you've got so much runoff area, you kind of lose that perspective. But this is the one track where when you're on it, and you know, you're carrying, you know, the absolute limit of the car through a corner, you can sense that you're taking a gamble. Just the proximity of the trees, barriers. I mean, there is runoff area, but
it's an old school circuit, and that's how the circuits were back in the day, weren't they?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
weren't nowhere near as safe as a newer circuit. Well, here it is, probably one of the most famous corners in the world, Eau Rouge. And it's this corner that really does separate the men from the boys and the women from the girls.
this corner is make or break for a lap. So let me show you what it is that we drivers do to master it. So out of La Source hairpin, we're approaching Eau Rouge in 5th gear, up to 130, 140 miles per hour. Now this right here is the most critical, important part of the whole corner. As you can see here, this curb on the left-hand side, it's really important that we take as much of that as possible with a straight car as we go over the compression, which then really opens up the angle as we go up the hill over Radillon.
This is part of the corner where you're thinking, oh, well, certainly I am. That's what I think when I approach it.
Every time.
You're going in what is effectively a blind crest. So as you're approaching that, you don't know if you've got it right or wrong. It's just only when you kind of, you know, come out the other end and you know whether you're on the right line or not.
I mean, you really are going into the oblivion. It's such a blind corner. And like I said here, you've really got to open up the corner. But if you go too early, turn in too early, you're facing the wall. If you leave it too late and have a late apex, leave it too wide and you hook the car, then you're spinning off into the barrier at 130 miles per hour, and that's never a good day.
Never a good thing, is it? How does my bum look in this?
Looks pretty good, doesn't it? 9 out of 10.
So this is what Martin was about. This is the blind oblivion. You don't know what you're going into. Whether you've got it right or wrong, well, you find out in literally a couple of milliseconds.
Well, look at it from this angle here, from where we're sitting. All you can see is the tops of the trees. So, you know, we're 5th gear at this point, absolutely flat out.
And the car, there's a sense of it going quite light here, so it is quite unnerving. You know, and let's not forget, we just kind of walked through this. This all happens with a matter of, you know, maybe a couple of seconds, but it's such a crucial part of the lap, because if you get this wrong, not only do you risk having a huge accident, but you've got such a long straight after this that your lap time's not going to be great. If you get this right and you hit the sweet spot, then you can make up a lot of time here, and it's pretty good for your lap time, isn't it?
Mate, am I out of shape or am I getting the sweat on?
I feel fresh.
Mate, I'm out of shape. This is a workout.
Yeah. So we're just coming up to the top now, and this is when you realise and you know.
We're good.
We're good. We made
We made
it. Everything was right. I ticked all the boxes. It felt good, and it's that moment we were saying before. When you have got it right, there is no better feeling. No,
Yeah.
I don't think any other corner has such the payback which Eau Rouge has, because when
Well,
you
after
get it right,
that, the Kemmel straight, it goes on and on and on. So you just watch your delta time on the steering wheel, and when you've got it right,
minus.
-2, -3, -4, you know you've.
And there it is. To the right is a big wall. We've seen people going there. To the left is another big wall. And there's a tiny gap in the middle, the tarmac, and that's hopefully
Where you want to be.
where you want to be. So that's Eau Rouge in a nutshell. Well, today qualifying went really well for us. We finished P1 in class and P5 overall.
Come on. Pretty good day.
That was a pretty good day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. championship rivals are behind us, so that's all we can ask for.
Tomorrow's looking good. But now, the best part of the weekend.
Food.
Always the best part, the downtime. What should we do tonight?
Eat our faces off.
Quite a few Belgian pubs I've seen. Should we call in one of those? No, we can't.
Can't we?
Let's just have an early night and we can spoon.
No, I'm spooning Reg tonight. So we're just waiting on the grid now. Calvin's on his formation lap coming to the pre-grid, and then the race will start in about 10 minutes.
Kelvin Fletcher's performances this year as an amateur driver have just been absolutely amazing. So from silver screen to bronze driver, he's had a good transition there, and he's loving his racing. More importantly, that someone who's not doing it full time can come into a level like British GT and be so competitive.
He's regularrly up against drivers that in theory should be quicker than him, but that doesn't often seem to be the case. And indeed, the BMW in front of him, number 52, being driven by Jacob Matthias at the moment, he is a silver graded driver, and Kelvin looks the quicker of the two at the moment. Now, they're in different cars, of course they are, but Kelvin nonetheless really impressing here. He's leading the Pro-Am Championship in GT4 as well, is Kelvin Fletcher, with Martin Plowman, his teammate. And Kelvin is everything you want really out of an AM driver, isn't he? He's quick, yes, but he rarely makes mistakes. He rarely brings the car in bent and damaged. He hands over in a decent position then for Martin to finish the job in the second stint.
As we see Fletcher finally get the move done, that's a bit more like it. That was a big whistle as well. And it looks like there's going to be a slipstream from Toff Jones as well. So this battle's been raging for the last 20 minutes. It's brilliant.
Calvin's been really getting his elbows out in this stint. It's been a battle from start to finish. Currently P8 overall, leading Pro-Am, but the P2 in class, the McLaren, is catching us fast. So the McLarens have got a little bit of speed in their pocket, which they're now starting to show. I just hope that Calvin can give me a bit of a gap before I get in. So I'll be getting in the car in about 10 minutes time. New set of tyres, and I've got 1 hour to push, get my head down and see where we can go.
I was pretty happy with my stint, and then as we came in, as luck just seems to be having it at the minute, you know, we had another issue with the, it just wouldn't engage in gear, so Plyer was there in the car ready to go, and he couldn't find a gear, so I don't know how long we lost there, but we lost, you know, quite a bit of time. You know, people who were behind us, 6-10 seconds behind us, are now ahead of us, so, you know, we must have lost at least that. It's frustrating, but, you know, we've got another 55 minutes to go, so anything can happen, and it's just frustrating.
It's a point scoring mission to try and see how many points we can get for the Pro-Am Championship, so that's the big thing to look at. I don't know how many more places we can make, only time will tell.
6/10 middle sector, 6/10 middle sector.
As we jump on board, Mercedes with Malvern, I think, against Plowman. Ooh.
to be a lot of drama. We deserve so much more. We really do.
A little bit deflated. The guys actually did a stunning job on qualifying. The start was a bit chaotic. 2 laps ago, the guy that was in P4 in Pro-Am knocked us off the track, so the team had gone to have a little chat with the officials upstairs.
Wow. This is the battle in GT4 now. Martin Plowman is back with Scott Malvern and might have a score to settle here. He's probably thinking, well, the clerk of the course hasn't settled this score for me, so maybe it's time for me to dish out some justice myself. The next corner is probably not the corner to do that, but maybe into the bus stop he might just fire one up the inside. These two are scrapping away over 23rd place overall, but crucially 3rd place in GT4 Pro-Am. Remember, the 11 car is leading the Pro-Am GT4 category in the championship.
He's angry now.
Can't mate. One is inside.
Track limits, I've seen him do that 3 times now. Come on now, Barry lad.
Come on.
Pardon?
Got hit.
Martin did?
Yeah, he just been hit off.
Oh, you're joking. Who off? Who by?
I think he's still going.
Wow, the carnage here is ridiculous.
Why are you in there?
He got past Malvern and Malvern hit him off again.
Seriously?
What is he doing?
Ridiculous.
Wow. Looks like someone else has just gone off the race and just finished. He did finish. Wow, well, at least he finished. It looks like he got past our rival Malvern, and then apparently Malvern hit him off. I don't know. Literally the last lap, it all comes down to the last final 20 seconds after a 2-hour race. It's pretty extraordinary, really. Well, we'll see. I guess there's going to be an investigation of some sort now. There's so many incidents that have just happened in the final 30 seconds, so I don't know if anything official will be released. As it stands at the minute, I think we're P4 in class and I don't know, 10th overall maybe? 8th overall? Who knows? He's obviously been hit on the rear. There's a few battle scars. Not that bad, is it really? It's not a nice feeling watching somebody else on the podium, is it?
Well guys, what a day. Really bitterly disappointed with how that turned out. Kelvin did a great job. Car felt good all weekend, and then to have the issue that we did at the pit stop where we lost all of our time, came out so far behind, and then just, we didn't give up. Managed to get my head down, passed a few people, still trying to fight for an overall podium, but the driving out there today was just horrendous. I mean, the level, it felt like amateur level out there. So what can you do? I absolutely gave everything to get the most out of the car today, and just came up short. Came 4th in class and 9th overall. Unfortunately, our nearest rival won today. But you know what? It's not over. We might still be leading the championship with 2 rounds to go, and it's all to play for.
Well, I'm back in the car, heading home after a long drive. We've driven through Belgium, France, and now we're back in lovely England, and I'm driving up north. It's been a good weekend, an amazing experience. Again, we're bitterly disappointed with the stroke of bad luck we had in the pits that lost any chance of a podium. But also what it did mean is that our biggest rival is now only half a point behind us in the championship, so it couldn't be any tighter. We've got 2 rounds to go, Brands Hatch and Donington. And this really is all to play for. The championship is up for grabs. It's anyone's. So we'll look forward to that. And first things first, it's getting home and seeing the kids and seeing the wife and seeing the family.